Well, hello, everybody. I'm here with my good friend, Duncan Williams, who is the treasurer of Forest Brook. And we're going to take a few minutes just to answer some of the key questions that I know you have on your heart about how things are going with the operations of the church and what's been happening. The first one, I'm sure everybody's wondering, is what's been happening with the income at Forest Brook and how are we doing financially?
Okay, so more and more, I'll start out more and more, we all are together, changing the way we do everyday life. We're Zooming birthdays, we're letting our hair grow wild, we're waiting in long, orderly lines, and of course, we're doing lots of e-transfers. And the same goes for doing church. Our donor response during this pandemic has been amazing. PAR participation is now at 43 and growing. Canada Helps transactions are approximately 10 transactions per week. E-transfers are up to 23 e-transfers per week, and that's growing. That is the main growth area in terms of how people choose to give. In terms of the donation amounts, in general donations for March of this year, they were 56,000. And for last year, comparables, they were 72,000. So that did represent a decline of about 23% in March. But that's not where the story ends. In April, up to and including Sunday, April 19th, our donations were 65,000, which compares to 67,000 for the entire month of April last year. So people are really transitioning to this new form of giving online through these electronic means. So it's very, it's an answer to prayer. It's certainly a ray of optimism in these darker times. And it's certainly, when you see these things coming through day by day, all the way through the week, some days more, some days less, it really causes a person to be very thankful. And people have been very faithful, and I know Forest Brook is very thankful. The transition is happening and continues to happen.
All right, great. That's good news. Thank you. So the other side of the balance sheet is always our expenses, and one of the largest expenses to the church is the cost of staff compensation. What's happening there, Duncan? Are we looking at the possibility of having to lay staff off temporarily, or what are we doing there?
Okay, so to answer the initial question, we're not looking at any layoffs. And first of all, the safety of our staff is absolutely paramount, and that drives all our decisions. They're working from home now. They're practicing social distancing measures that are so vital in these times. And I just want to let everyone know that early on in the pandemic crisis, in early to mid-March, the board of directors had made decisions to continue the wages and benefits of the staff. We were really thankful for our staff, and we're thankful for all the background work they keep moving. We're very encouraged by our new online church. It may be different, but what the staff and people of Forest Brook have done, I still look forward to Sunday mornings at Forest Brook, just not at the building. So, we stand 100% behind our staff and want their safety and are concerned about their economic security too. So, to that end, if there are any gaps in our financing, we have been pursuing all avenues that the government has provided for charities, small businesses like ours, in terms of the temporary wage subsidy for employees and the Canadian emergency wage subsidy. So those two things and programs and measures, the first one that we've already seen results from, the Canadian wage subsidy, that will be live this coming Monday, April 27th. So that is something we will pursue as well. So, so that's sort of where we stand with our staffing and how we're marrying that with government programs.
Great, thank you for that. The other big expense obviously is the building, the facility. It's sitting there empty, not being used. What's been happening with the facility and how are we looking after that?
Well, it's, you know, you look at it and you think it was March 8th that our last Sunday service was. So I look back and I think it seems so long ago, but it was. So to that end, I just want to make sure everyone knows that all our facilities and services and maintenance contracts are fully funded. So things are being maintained at the physical building. I'd like to also speak to the rentals. For the foreseeable future, and this is sort of an ongoing decision-making process, but for the foreseeable future, rentals have been put on pause. And some have been canceled and refunded, but the vast majority have retained their payments and retained their spot in the hopes of rescheduling at some later date. So those decisions will come in the future and they'll be more detailed, but that's how it stands with rentals. And I just wanted to make sure that people know that the building is really not left totally unattended or abandoned. Securing the premises is a priority. And, you know, Mark has been on site and I know he's making things ready for the comeback, the big comeback. And we go on from there.
Yeah, okay. Well, thanks a lot, Duncan. And everybody, on behalf of Duncan and I, the elders, the board of directors, and all of the staff, we want to thank you so much for your faithfulness to your church at Forest Brook through this time. We're seeing the benefit of that, and we're so grateful, and we are all looking forward to the day when we come back together again. But in the meantime, we're just going to continue to be church and do church in this new format that we have, and we hope that you're being blessed by it. Okay, thanks, Duncan.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you, Kevin, for everything you do, and God bless and take real good care.
Okay.